I do want to cover patient access and experience. Certainly, I think we'd be remiss not to talk about that. How do you think the emerging technologies we're referring to today, automation, robotics, AI, ML, all of that, will impact the patient's access to cell therapies, even better and even more quickly in the future? Rohit, I'd like to start with you, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, I think I think as I said, like as an industry, as a field, we have to keep the patient experience in mind all the time and every time, right? So I think one of the areas that I feel some of these emerging technologies will help us is, minimizing the vein-to-vein time, and really, I think that has in some cases, like in certain cancers, I think that it does make a difference where you're able to probably get a favorable response from the patients. The patients don't have to be on the bridging therapy for a longer time. So I think there are benefits to, especially if these are sicker patients. This is, well, many times cell therapy is probably the last option that they're looking at, right? So I think just from the patient standpoint, the vein-to-vein times, especially for this, from the cancer patient standpoint, is extremely critical. And I see that is something where, reducing some of our QC times with some of the new techniques around rapid sterility testing and all can reduce that vein-to-vein time and make an impact for the patient. And then also, getting slots for the patients, right? I think having a predictable, reliable manufacturing schedule where, when the doctor kind of sees the patient and they want to assign them the therapy, when do they get this therapy available, right? Is it weeks? Is it months? Or is it days? So I think there is the shorter wait times, faster, and I think that can have a real impact on the patient. And then I think just overall, I think our North Star is still delivering for the patient, each and every patient every time, right? So and I think some of these technologies will help us get there. We have, as I said, like maybe 30 to 40,000 patients is what have been treated with the approved therapies. But can we get to million patients, right? Globally or, in the next few years? And I think that is going to be a huge challenge, right? But with these emerging technologies, I think we can get there. I think we can, we can truly, the cell therapy can be truly a differentiating sort of life-saving therapy for thousands and not millions of patients around the world.
Good. Thanks, Rohit. And David, I'd love to hear your perspective too on how can new technologies improve the patient experience? What are they? Perhaps certainly the laundry list of things that we talked about today. Anything else we haven't covered yet?
Well, I think that's a fascinating question. In terms of how do we increase patient access? We've come a long way since 2017. But as we've already mentioned, there's a lot more patients out there that could benefit from the technologies that are coming along. And I think there's, all sorts of fascinating ideas now, or the concept of centralized versus decentralized manufacturing, which provides, different challenges and whatnot. But the idea of trying to manufacture where the patient is, as opposed to shipping the patient or the donor's materials to a central facility and going back. I think, those are all sorts of conversations around that. I think also kind of conversations around or emerging technologies of infusing the cell product earlier, meaning, traditional car manufacturing is 7 to 10 days. In the past couple of years, all sorts of different groups that are working on saying, hey, what if rather than expanding the cells in vitro, if we harvest the cells, select, do the edit, and then rapidly infuse them back into the patient and let them expand in vivo as well too. That's got some legs there, or some additional scientific research to figure out if that works, across multiple different platforms, or if it's just specific to CAR T and other indications. But I think, as we talked about before, one of the key drivers is cost. And as we look at the current paradigm, is you've got a patient that's coming into a very high-end kind of research institution, as having a collection, or donors having a collection. All sorts of that care is very closely managed as you look to kind of, and then that collection is sent to a high-end manufacturing facility. It then goes back to that kind of research or top-tier institution for it to be delivered. All that has significant cost, and also, an availability for, those research institutions aren't everywhere in the world, and patients don't have access to all those depending on where they are. So if we can drive down costs and increase reproducibility, and also if we can kind of standardize both collections and delivery across multiple different indications, hopefully that will make it more accessible to kind of the community hospitals, where the bulk of the world's population has access to, as opposed to kind of the high-end technical centers, which are not everywhere.